Good evening, everybody, and welcome to day 22 of 90 on the Broken to Beautifully Blended 90-Day Video Challenge. Today is the beginning of week 4, and it also is my mother's 79th birthday. So we got to take her out to dinner this evening and celebrate her, and it was a good time. I think everybody enjoyed themselves, and she's doing amazingly well for being 79. She walks 2 miles a day. And so it's really encouraging to see her do her thing, and she's doing very well. Also, today, you went to a couple of different events.
Well, I went to an event, and then I went to my weekly Bible study.
Yeah.
So I went to the lunch party for the women's retreat for Oklahoma. And that is a retreat that happens in April down at Falls Creek, and got to hear who the speakers are and get promotional material for the ladies that attend the watch party so that they'll have more information about it.
And what about the Bible study?
So the Bible study is a group of ladies from several different churches that we get together and dive into the Word. And it is led by a woman that is from Sunnybrook Church in Stillwater. We're going through 2 Peter right now, and we've spent the last 3 weeks of going over false preachers, false prophets, false teachers. And so that's been very informative, very interesting.
What have you learned about false teachers? What's some of the characteristics?
Well, the false teachers, they don't hold a plumb line. They typically have an agenda, and they start to slant towards that agenda. And as you're there with them and you're slanting, you're going along with them, you can end up over here. And they're typically very, very loud, very boisterous about what they believe. They're among us. They are not out there. They're wolves in sheep's clothing. So they're just as real and with us as they were whenever that was written.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting. It can come up at any time. You got to be diligent about what it is that you know.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, it's not just, hey, watch out for the false teacher. It's more or as much about, I know what I believe and I know what the Bible says, right?
Exactly. And that is the biggest thing that we've went over, is that it can be very easy for new believers or people that do not spend time in the Word. So you don't even have to be a new believer. You can be somebody that's been saved for a long time and have gotten lazy in being in the Word, and things can sound true enough and not necessarily be the truth.
Very good. Very cool. The event that is at Falls Creek,
Mm-hmm.
is that open to anybody?
It's open to any church that wants to attend, and you just have to believe what it is that they say, so that Christ is Lord. And there's different things to be able to take a group to Falls Creek. So yes, pretty much anybody can go.
But you have to be like a church. You can't, like,
Right.
If I was a woman and I just showed up, that wouldn't.
No, you have to go with a church that is going down. I'm sure you could just be a woman from one church.
Right.
But your church is going to go down, and it is a time that you can spend 24 full hours with other women, getting to have evening devotionals. And we started, when Allison was 13, they started letting teenagers go. And so she's 20 now. By the time that this comes around, she'll be 20 still. So this would have been her 7th time of going. If she's able to go, it will be still available to her as an adult. But that was something that as soon as the girls turned 13, they went to that retreat with me. And so Allison for 7 years, and I think actually 1 year she wasn't able to go. She was working. And Jaden as soon as she turned 13, Reagan as soon as she turned 13, and then Lauren turned 13 last year, and they changed the rules on us to being 14. And so she was very down about that because that was the one year that we knew we were going to have all of the girls being able to go. And so we actually contacted Amy at the BGCO and asked her why it changed. And she explained why it had changed. And then she sent Lauren a box that was a, hey, we know you're not going to be able to come this year, but we'll see you next year. And it was a journal and a hat and a pop socket for her phone. And so that was something that was very sweet of her to do. But this year, we should be able to have all of the girls go if they want to go. And we even had his mom, who she went the last 2 years. She was kind of hesitant about going because she wasn't certain about sleeping on the bunk beds. And we've got tips and tricks to be able to make that comfortable for one night. And then last year, Rockford's stepmom from Arkansas actually came over and went with us as well. And we typically always take a group of ladies down to Falls Creek for this women's event. It's one of the things that I actually like to be able to put together. So I find out what the theme is, and this year the theme is about gifts. Last year it was about light. And so they're not going to do tote bags this year, which is a little bit of a bummer for me because I'm a bagaholic. Hi, I'm April. I'm a bagaholic.
That's true.
Anyway, so they're not going to have totes. They're going to have something else that's going to be a gift type thing. It's been interesting too because I've been able to see my mom and my sister who attend another church in Oklahoma go to the women's retreat as well for the last couple of years. And so it's where you can go and you can have, I think last year there was 5,007 women that actually went and attended, and it's not necessarily Baptist speakers. Last year it was Lisa Turkhurst, and before we've had Lisa Harper and Kay Arthur, different people. This year it is Jenny Allen, which she actually is part of the IF movement, so the IF table and IF gatherings, and we used to do that quite a bit 4 or 5 years ago, where the IF table we would have a meeting once a month at a woman's home, and we would each bring something for the dinner and then just talk about what it would be like if we didn't have masks on, what if we didn't come in pretending to be something different. And it's that if we laid it all down and if we just got real. And they go very deep with questions and getting to build community that way. Which is actually kind of where I kind of fell in love with the idea of doing a farm table, which now 5 years later I have. And they actually have, I want to say it's neighbor's table or my neighbor's table. I'll have to look it up and get you more information on it. But they actually build big, huge tables, and they will come and set them up on site. And then they actually cook alongside you for the first meal, and they have the first meal with you at the table.
That's cool.
I think they've been in Good Morning America, maybe, on Good Morning America.
Yeah. So doing these kinds of things is something that you can tell sort of energizes April. She enjoys hosting, and really I think the base of all of it is your desire to build community with others.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it is, it's interesting getting to see because there was, I want to say 14 women that went last year with us, and a lot of them, they weren't real certain about what it was going to be like, and I think I've seen all of them pretty much say, hey, I want to go back definitely this year. And I think that's a big deal, to let women know it's okay to let somebody else tuck your babies in for a night. You've got to come down and you've got to build a community and be energized.
Yeah, last year, whenever my stepmom went, she dropped my dad off here. I had to tuck him in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys worked on the table then, didn't you?
No, I don't. We didn't start the table until
fence.
like January. We worked on the fence and something else. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, he needed to be tucked in at night, so I took care of that for him. But anyway, as that gets closer, We'll put some more information out on the channel, and you guys will be able to see what it is. And if you're close enough, we would certainly hope that you would make the effort to attend and be a part. So stay tuned for that in the coming days, weeks, and probably months. It's in April, right?
It is in April, but what we got comfortable with until last year is that they open up the ticket sales in November every year, and people don't really start signing up until like February, maybe March, historically. And last year we signed up, and I signed up, me and the girls and Carol Rockford's mom, as soon as it opens, typically, just to make sure that we're reserved. And then we kept pushing it and saying, hey, here's the promoting it. And they said, oh my gosh, in February, I want to say, we're going to sell out before the early deadline, which is in March. And then they came back like a day later and said, we're sold out. And then they had a waiting list, and that waiting list, they had to see about getting more cabins, and they opened back up the waiting list and let 1,000 more people in. And we had 3 that got in on the waiting list. And so they were very clear today that do not wait, that as soon as you know you want to go, then sign up. So if you're thinking about going, then absolutely contact us, and we will start the sign up, which is actually on November 4th, which is the 40-day prayer challenge, the first day that starts. So we will get ours signed up, and then we'll just keep talking about it until it fills up. And whenever it fills up, there's not really anything they can do because they can't fabricate more beds. And
right.
So,
right. So stay tuned for that. What's it called this year?
It's just the women's retreat. It's 2 Corinthians 9:15 is the theme of it. Of course, they gave us a shirt so that we could wear the shirt, but it's on the table in a box. And it is, thank God for this gift, too wonderful for words. And the version that they used was this indescribable gift.
Okay.
And this one, thanks be to God for his inexpressible gift. So whichever version that they used, it is about gifts this year, which should be interesting because typically gifts is not my love language, and so I don't do great about gifts.
Mm-hmm.
I do on acts of service and quality time, but so this will be a little stretching.
That's good. So that's going to be it for tonight. We want to say a happy birthday to my mother.
Happy birthday.
And I hope that this year is the best yet. We'll have a big celebration for your 80th, 1 year from today. And we will see you all again tomorrow on day 23, right? 23.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. See you, everybody.